Hello, guys. We're back.
Yeah, we are, Gio. Thank you for joining me here for this wonderful game of Quidditch. It's going to be back to a classic Turkish game of Hippogriffs versus the ETU Honeybees. The Hippogriffs to our left-hand side, dressed in white and green, and the Honeybees in their usual yellow and white jerseys.
They have got nice kits. I do actually quite like a lot of the Turkish kits this weekend.
Oh yeah, they're phenomenal. I mean, also like Team Turkey has great kits, and it's all because these guys love putting on their own businesses, providing these jerseys from basically all of Europe.
Yeah, they've got a lot of the UK teams have actually bought like tour type shirts, which is just nice to kind of wear when we're not playing, walk around in, and that's all been provided by Canberra that's happening and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, what Canberra has done for like the dress code of Quidditch is impeccable.
Those jackets are really nice as well. I might pick one up.
Yeah. I've seen those college jackets as well. I mean,
yeah,
they always think about new stuff. And the sock game, of course, also very strong with the Honeybees in their V-shaped.
I've just noticed it with the stripes. They look like little stingers as well.
Yeah.
It's quite cool. If only they did that with a broom, then they could be little stingers.
Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah, but for now, we're focused on this game, the Hippogriffs versus the Honeybees. Hippogriffs, in my opinion, a bit favored. And when they're playing in the Turkish league, the Hippogriffs had the upper hand. Otherwise, it's now not in Turkey anymore. Now we're in Harelbeke. Let's see if the Honeybees can get the upset versus the Hippogriffs.
So I've actually not seen either of these two teams play this weekend, or ever actually, really. I do know that
you're in for a treat, my friend.
I do know that on the Honeybees, the player to watch out for is Ajam, number 4.
Yeah.
She's a phenomenal beater. I've seen her play at Cupid Cup this year, and she just caught everything.
Yeah, she's impeccable at catching and just playing with a lot of heart and passion. I think as soon as she steps on that pitch, there's not a doubt in her mind that she's going to be her best self on that pitch.
Yeah, a phenomenal player, and also the coach this year, which is quite nice to see.
Yeah. On the other hand side, on the Hippogriffs, it's number 21 to look out for. That's Doctor, he's called. He's like the focal point of their offense, and he's also the emotional leader of that team. Big guy, can catch a lot of dudes, and very, very drive intensive.
That'd be quite nice. I just think he's got a doctorate, because he can be Doctor.
That would be awesome.
That would be quite cool. So just waiting for Eamon to get the game started, and we should be underway very shortly.
Yeah, Eamon, UK ref.
Yep, one of the best, I'd say, in the UK, personally.
So it's good to have him on the pitch.
Good chance there. Both teams seem up for it. Honeybees first to the ball.
And some nice tossing.
But that's their reset. Did you think they'll come and bite them?
Oh, they reset?
Yep, they reset it back because they double slapped it back.
Oh, damn. I thought that maybe if we don't really have it in possession, it might, but yeah, that's a reset.
Yeah, because it wasn't the first action, it was the second. Oh, unlucky with the beat attempt there, but nice wrap with a tackle. Now they should really aggress and force that second reset. Nice little pop off. Good drive, unlucky with the hands, and good little take back. And the ball is with the keeper for the Hippogriffs.
So.
Not much to see so far.
No. The Doctor advancing the quaffle like he always does.
The Doctor will see you now. Nice attempted beat. Good return beat, though.
Yeah, I think this game might come down to all the beater drills we'll have in front of our eyes, because both teams tend to wait for the gap or like the mistakes that the defense gives them.
Very patient beating is what I've seen. Very patient quaffle. There seems to be playing Baylor-style defense, which basically means that all 3 chasers stay in front of the hoops when they get pushed back.
The hoop defense is called Baylor defense.
Yes.
All right.
I think as originated in the States.
Yeah.
But
does it work if there is a good arm throwing the shot?
Well, so typically it's actually a shot defense, because if you are standing in front of the hoop, realistically they shouldn't score. I think they're trying to play compact, but they're being pushed back into their keeper zone by the aggressive beating and the very patient quaffled players of the Hippogriffs. But once the Baylor or the compact breaks down, that shooting lane is open, and as we've just seen, the Hippogriffs have a nice shot on them. Very patient game so far, though. Both quaffle players trying to wait for their beaters to do something, which I think is quite common. It's just you say to your beaters, go and do something. Go and get a bludger or something.
Go on, lad. Give it your best shot. Yeah. Haluk Jr., number 44 of the Honeybees, often tries to dodge. This time it wasn't successful.
And the Doctor is driving through. Nice little pass off.
Pass.
But good, solid defense. That's very nice, scrappy defense, but the goal still goes in.
Yeah.
Do you think the Doctor should have probably picked up momentum and just driven through with that?
I actually think that the pass shouldn't have gone. Like the pass from Doctor was okay, but then I would have liked to see the pass to number 1. Ideally, she was really free on the right-hand side hoops. But it's hard to see her as soon as the Doctor comes in because he's like 2 heads taller than her.
I think he's probably shadowing her as well.
Yeah.
The drive's coming through.
But yeah, I think a drive in that case might have been more ferocious and harder to defend, but they'll take it.
But what a beautiful left-handed shot from number 54. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce this one here. Have you got any idea on this one?
Egeman.
Egeman. Yeah. That is Egeman. Brilliant. Nice little left-handed shot there. Was trying to make sure the beater wasn't coming in. Span the body the other way around. And little left-handed shot into that far right hoop. I believe that brings our scores to 2-1.
Yeah, 2-1.
So these teams play each other often, I'm guessing, back home in Turkey, so they should know each other really well?
Yeah, they do. I mean, basically any tournament in Turkey, these 2 teams meet up. It's in the Quidditch League of Turkey, it's in the Quidditch Cup of Turkey, and of course the Intergalactic Cup, like a free-for-all tournament, but every Turkish team attends. And yeah, these guys meet at least 4 times a year.
So that's something I have noticed from the Turkish game. It is a very physical game.
Yeah, these guys are really big and they want to put their bodies on the line. In this case, too quick.
But that was really good heads-up play there. Notice that the Doctor was beat, just picked it up, and that was Don Cuffer.
Don Cuffer, yeah.
Don Cuffer, look at that. Got your first term. Don Cuffer scooped it up and drove it straight through. It's a really nice play. Good heads-up play from the chaser there to bring it back level to 2-2.
Yeah. I think I watched a Honeybees game earlier on Saturday, and the player we also want to have in our mind is Rocky, I think, number 24. Played a phenomenal game, very quick, and provided the offense with a spark from the bench. Great player. I can't wait to see him go on the court.
So when Rocky comes on, do we have to start doing the chant, right? Eye of the Tiger. But the drive is on now. Doctors, probably again should have gone for the drive.
Did we just do the Rocky thing?
We did. When Rocky gets on pitch, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
That's really nice control there from the Hippogriffs, keeping both bludgers. But again, on the Honeybee side, that was great scrappy defense. Yeah, another great scrappy defense. They've got those good tackles in the point chaser, and then that should be a bludger turnover, I believe. Made an attempted beat at a immune beater, but the refs haven't called it.
Other said a great pass in front of the hoops.
But nice clean up though.
Yeah.
Very good heads up play there from number 1. She knew she was going to get beat out, but just tapped it back to a chaser who could then pass it back to the keeper. Ooh. A bit risky pass there. Both beaters subbing off with the bludger, which is always a dangerous move.
Yeah, but on the other hand, do you think that sometimes it's more important to be with the beater body than like with anyone on your team? Do you think there's like this kind of synergy that kind of equals it out?
I think it depends. Like, it depends what you're trying to do. So if you're going to be aggressed on like that, so the Doctor's being aggressed on, there needs to be more passing options, passing into traffic. You know what, that is actually a really nice passing play against control. Yeah. And you know what?
Yeah. I would have taken that reset as well. Good
call. Yeah, smart play. That was really nice link-up play between the 3 of them. I thought the one middle, I didn't catch the number or the name, so I thought they looked like they were going to be pressed out by the beater, number 99 there. But just passed it off. Really good movement. That is great synergy and teamwork by the chasers there.
And the passes were on point, right at the chest, easy to catch. And right here we have maybe the 3-2. Great.
See that there? That was a nice pass out again. What they're doing is they're managing to spread out the quaffle play, and that opens up that defense, which they're playing quite compact. They're playing very tight around the hoops, so that driving options, those shoots options are not there. Yeah. So by spreading those passes out, it opens up the defense to allow a shot or a drive like that from the little cut-ins.
How would you counter that? Like man defense, or like just get into the passing lines and like try to go for the interception?
So what you're probably best off doing then is probably running man defense and putting your beaters in the middle. Yep. So anytime someone tries to make that cut, immediately beat them out. Yeah. Because obviously you can't tackle someone in the air, that's a helpless receiver, that's a straight red card, but you can beat them.
Oh, look at that tackle here by Ejim. But she's off.
And a ref is calling that as a illegal tackle. I didn't quite catch that, but what I do like is I like the aggression. Coming straight on and wanting to show the other team that she means business. Yeah. She may be small, but she hits hard. Yeah,
but we're only talking about being small and hitting hard. Number 33, the female beater she was tackling, Venus. Actually, pretty good player. I saw the Hippogriffs earlier as well. Sorry. She played a phenomenal
Yellow
game.
Card.
I think she deserves more game time.
Honeybees, number 4.
Well, the thing is what I've seen from the Hippogriffs beaters is they have all been really, really strong. So they are trying to fight for game time, which makes it quite difficult when you have such good competition on your own team.
Yeah.
Trying to kind of stand out in a team of stars is quite difficult. But there we are, Ajim with the cards.
Yeah, yellow card for an illegal rep, number 4, Ajim of the Honeybees.
They should really use this power play. They have 2 bludgers.
Yeah, they can go deep. Nice drive. And in.
That was a nice attempted beat, but a great whip shot there.
Yeah, basically going over the other side, thereby denying the successful rep and get it in.
Well, the thing is they were tied up. The player had them, but they kind of, number 99, Dugas, managed to spin and flick it with his right hand over his back shoulder, which was a beautiful play. So, Honeybees kind of on the back foot at the moment.
Yeah, 40-20.
They don't seem to have an answer for these kind of drives, these cuts. Hippogriffs seem to be adapting just a little bit better. How do Honeybees counter?
I think their offense seemed to work, but only when they had bludger control. They don't seem to phase the opposing defending beaters at all at the moment. Ajim needs to get some contact on these beaters.
Do you think it's smart Ajim going for number 19, who is Ukhtar, or do you think Ajim should probably aggress for Venus, the slightly shorter beater?
I mean, whomever she chooses, I think she needs help from a beater buddy, like at least giving some kind of distraction, maybe coming from behind, just initiating contact, pressing him forward, making it very harder to dodge. The doctor's just too hard to stop. Nice eye for the open man on the right-hand side.
So the thing is, number 44 there,
Haluk
Jr. Probably he ran too far back. The thing is when you're being attacked into on a counter, if you're the beater, you want to be more forward. Yeah. You want to force them to make that decision earlier, because if you try and beat them at the keeper zone or by your hoops, they can either shoot or their little pass-offs are a lot easier.
Yeah, because the time window shrinks down, basically.
Yeah, you really want to be aggressing them on the halfway line or as close to the halfway line as possible. Made a beautiful dodge there, but then kept retreating. And I've noticed that a lot. It's quite common in European Quidditch to kind of start your defense from your hoops as opposed to the halfway line.
I think it's not only in the UK, but it's also like in the continental of Europe.
Well, I was saying, did I say UK? I meant Europe, my bad. Nice.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Look at that, number 3 picking up some chasers on the side.
Nice fake out from Venus there. She took out the loose chase on the right side, which was the reset option, and then faked out Ajim, which was beautiful. You are right, she's been playing phenomenal this game. Ajim doesn't seem to have an answer. They should really maybe running downtown.
She needs some help. I mean, at least maybe switch to the number 33 and go with the quick beat. Yeah, now she needs to pick something. Yeah. Ajim and number 54 can't really think of anything to do in the offense.
The thing is what the Hippogriffs beaters are doing really nicely is they're just cleaning up the chasers. While the Koffel is right by the corner, basically the beaters are taking out all the passing options, which can either initiate a press or it basically tires out their team. If they've got to run back and forth from end to end, that is insanely tiring.
Like when we have a situation where the Honeybees can't really seem to get back bludger control, and just as I said that they do it, how would you in the UK go about getting back bludger control when you have like the slow offense?
So typically what you want to do is if you haven't got control and you're driving up the pitch, you maybe want to drive a bit slow with the Koffel and send your beaters to be a bit more aggressive, because if they miss the beat but the Koffel's in your keeper zone, the press isn't really on. But if you are in that kind of zone, when you're in their half, nothing's really working, you want to run a tactic maybe called downtown, which is when you'll send your unarmed beater behind.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yep, you pick which one you want to target and you make the beat, and if you miss, you've got your beater behind to clean up. Or if you really want to be smart or different, you can play uptown, which is when you aggress from behind. This causes both their beaters to turn around and face away from the Koffel.
Yeah.
But there we are, nice drive from the Doctor.
Yeah, Hippo unfortunately didn't go in. The ref saw it was not good, and the Honeybees get back bludger control. I'm wondering, Gio, when you just talked about downtown, you said?
So there's downtown and there's uptown.
Yeah, because in Germany, when people do downtown, sometimes they like to initiate some stiff arm contact from the beater that goes behind, pushing him forward, making it way harder to dodge.
The difficulty is you don't want to be done for contact from behind.
Yeah, just stiff arming him.
But if you put your hand on their back, you may get called for contact from behind, which is an issue. But the thing is you're not meant to be on them. You're meant to be as a clean-up option, because you want your armed beater to make an aggressive beat, and if they miss, that doesn't matter because you've got someone cleaning up behind. Or, as I was saying, if you run uptown, You want the whole defense gets flipped, and you're attacking from behind with the bludgers. It's a bit more riskier because if you get beat out, your reset's going. It's a lot harder.
But your bludgers, if you miss, on the right side of the pitch.
Should have probably passed it off there. Trying to do too much. That goal should be through. Yep, no, he stopped it from behind, but he's a chaser, and that's goaltending.
Oh yeah, of course.
So yep, Eamon called it very well there. The goal ref was correct. It didn't go through.
Yeah, but that's not his job. He only says, is it in or is it not? The other stuff is Eamon's job.
Which is good. I like to see that. Like, the goal ref probably knew it wasn't right, but called it as seen. So there we are. So that was a goal with control, though. And even then, it was still a bit sloppy.
I mean, look at that. Number 33 flying across the pitch, getting off some easy knocks.
So Edgerman there, I think, a bit sloppy on the offense. Maybe probably should have been a bit smarter with the quaffle, maybe passing it instead of trying to drive through everyone.
I think so too.
But that is very nice play from Hippogriffs there. They may not have scored, but they maintained control. And as we've seen so far, Honeybees struggle to score into control. Maybe they're playing too narrow. Maybe they are trying to play. They're not being dynamic enough. They've got one style of offense, which is drive it through.
I think both beaters are acting separately, not as a team in this case. Maybe they're going for it now because I see a surrounding. Yeah, maybe a downtown.
Oh, there we go.
Let's use that vocabulary that Gio is teaching us.
So there we are. The ball. They may not have got it, but what's happened is two bludgers on the floor behind the hoops, which would have caused, it's basically a no bludger situation. Unfortunately, the drive wasn't on, and the no bludgers goes the other way, and this should be a nice, easy goal.
Yeah. Phenomenal play. Now they could go for triple bludger supremacy, they don't.
Unfortunately, they can't because they both had one in their hand.
Yeah, no nonsense.
Now they
the
can.
Lineup.
Probably should have gone for the one far side, maybe, because it forces them to run further. If you go for that one far side, and then you make
Ajam has to make a whole arc.
Yep. Or if you and then you pick it up, and as Ajam's running this way, you make an attempt to beat out a chaser. Then your other beater can go and clean that one up and pass their armed beater back to you.
Yeah.
It may not be a very nice move, but it is technically legal. One bludger, one bludger. Good dodge, though.
Good dodge.
Nice second dodge.
That could be it. That could be
There
it.
should be no bludgers.
Oh, no!
So it's called brooms down just before, but that was a beautiful play there. Two phenomenal dodges, back to back by the chaser.
Yeah, that was a really great dodge by, I think it was Zero Don Kaffa.
Yeah.
Yeah, Don Kaffa. Great play. Dodged the one beat, withstood the tackle as good as possible, and then set it off to his teammates.
Yeah. The thing is what Don Kaffa did really nicely there. It may have slipped, may have dodged, don't know. I think he'll take the dodge there.
Let's give him the dodge.
We'll give him the dodge. We'll take, very nice dodge.
Gracious guys.
Yeah. And then managed to dodge a second one. And as was getting tackled and was on the ground, managed to had control and have it out.
Yeah.
So instead of being on top of it and turtling it, when you're turtling it, which makes it means you're basically protecting it like a shell, if you're doing that at their hoops, it's a dangerous play. But unfortunately, I think it was probably called beat by Eamon, it appears.
Yeah.
So ball is with the doctor. That's a phenomenal name, though. It's great for sound bites. So let's see what the doctor can do. The score is 6-3, and we're at 40 minutes. So it is still overtime range.
Yeah.
And we are getting to that kind of part of the game where people can start thinking about snitch on pitch tactics, where control is important.
Yeah, I'm wondering how the offense of the Hippogriffs looks when it's a swim range game and they can't really use their beaters in their offense. Well,
Goal was good, but
there's a ref call.
Ajam seems a bit agitated, but I think the call is going against Hippogriffs there.
Yeah, so it might negate the goal.
Which would be very important for Honeybees.
Yeah, Ajam is not happy with what just happened. I didn't see anything, Gio, did you?
I didn't see it. I believe may have got hit in the face or contact from the neck. Let's have a see what the official call is.
Yellow card, Hippogriffs, number 13. Illegal rep. Goal is no good. Quaffle turned over.
There you go, illegal rep by number 13. Junaid did an illegal rep on Ajam there. Apologizes now from the side of the field. Everything's good, but the goal doesn't stand.
Which is really important for the Honeybees to kind of maintain this. They need to get control back. They need to get a goal. They are up against it. The thing is, they have this power play. they can't claim immunity, but they should just go and tackle.
Yeah.
Go and tackle, go and cause chaos, because the beta can't do much.
And now maybe the offense stream becomes Rocky is now in it, number 24 on the left-hand side. He played a great game when you had him on the stream earlier, made some great decisions because he's a quick, agile player and maybe he can provide a spark from the bench.
The problem is, both the beaters appear to be beaten out for Honeybees.
Nope.
Oh,
Back
one's
there's
behind,
Hanlock Jr.
Yep. Good block, though.
Edgeman not being brought down, can't pass it over to number 17.
Should be a goal now, nice little pass.
That's Rocky.
And that was a beautiful little goal. So the thing is what the beaters did really well there was just trying to cause a bit of chaos by keeping that one beater distracted. Even if the Hippogriffs beater had both bludgers and they're distracted by the beaters, it's a nice, easy, no bludger situation. That's a big goal, though.
Yeah, it is 60-40. It's anyone's game. And as soon as the secret floor is open, this whole dynamic can change drastically.
Oh, but Ajam should get that.
Yeah,
but got beat out from behind.
One reset used.
Broken hoop. What I noticed on the far side, though, in terms of the beta play, is it appeared that Ajam was the inbounding player, but wasn't called. Therefore wasn't immune. So the beta for Hippogriffs smartly ran towards the sidelines, threw the bludger back while inbounds, went off to collect the other one, inbounded correctly, and then had two bludgers basically going back towards their hoops. And as Ajam's running forward to try and catch that one that was loose, got beat from behind. It was a nice beat, good, decent 10-yard beat, but there's not much Ajam can do there, really.
We talked about something similar to this earlier. You said she wasn't called out for being getting the ball out of bounds. Sometimes, I mean, that's the job of the assistant ref, and these guys have to do a lot. And you talked to me earlier, and we were saying maybe we need stricter testing for assistant refs because they have great importance in a game, and sometimes there seems to be some misunderstanding.
I think the test maybe should change because at the moment, obviously, especially with the new rules and stuff, with the inbounding procedures, the head ref's job is to watch the quaffle. And when I've ref before, I find that is actually quite the easiest part. The hardest part is knowing what cards to give for what, but they've got a whole test for that. I think the ARs should have maybe a separate test in terms of a lot more strict with the rules and inbounding procedures, and maybe even get tested, like a game test. You can't be to be certified. I think certification should probably be a bit more important for ARs than HRs at this point.
Yeah, and as we mentioned earlier, I think A or R makes far more calls in a normal game than HR does.
Yeah, because a lot of the time the HRs are relying on their ARs, especially
rightfully so.
And they should, because that's the point. It's a really nice defensive screening from Ajam there to stop the napalm, which basically allowed the Honeybees' defense to still be quite strong. Good dodge, though. What a beautiful dodge from the junior there.
Yeah, he's incredible dodger. He's always going for dodge, rarely ever for the catch, and people maybe should anticipate that.
But appeared to be beat there. Good tackle from Ajam. What a strong tackle. That tackle may have saved them the goal.
Sheesh.
The thing is, by tackling there, as the doctor was tied up by chasers, the beater couldn't clear off those chasers because Ajam took Capella to the ground.
Oh, and nobody was ready for the sub. Ajam wanted the sub, couldn't get it.
Ajam looks knackered. The thing is it's a dangerous time to take Ajam off. Because at the moment, they are close to... They're in range. They're in range to win. And I'd say Ajam's probably one of the better snitch and pitch beaters. But she's tired. Realistically, she should have probably come off maybe a minute or two ago.
Yeah, get some rest in and then be on high intensity as soon as the secret floor is open.
So they're Cuckoo, or the hero, as our score, as our...
Halleck Jr. is a secret for the Honeybees, and it's Özdemir for the Hippogriffs.
So this is where it's now important to kind of get those goals in.
Oh, great defensive scheme here.
Unfortunately, that was a loose pass.
Important beat by Venus.
A very important beat, but the thing is the Honeybees aren't bubbling. There we are. Because in this moment in the game, you are in range to win. Even if you're in range to overtime it, the most dangerous player of this game is the snitch.
Yeah. The guy in yellow decides this game.
Yeah. No goal, so it's still go there to win.
Yeah, but I don't think any team is really bubbling. I think they're trying to make it as they go from offense to defense. They want to take this in the chaser game.
Maybe they don't know bubbling. Good tackle.
Oh,
good strip.
Strips off.
Thing is, it's such a tight game, but that was a beautiful dunk. Rose above the doctor and gave him his medicine.
Oh, he went there. Gio Farino, you little rascal, you went there.
That's a nice burn.
Yeah, Prometheus there gave him his medicine.
Okay, but the thing is what's happening is the Hippogriffs appear to be bubbling, or they're at least screening, and they are taking that trade, which is the smart one to do. But the Hippogriffs Seeker's got loads of time on this snitch.
Yeah.
But what are the beaters doing from Honeybees? They're making the beats quite late.
I mean, in situations like this, would you go for like the more accurate beater, or maybe the beater with the better endurance and speed?
I think it's accuracy, really. Like, it's the one with the most range. So when you're setting a bubble, the point of a bubble is to keep their beater out of comfortable throwing range of your seeker. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So by doing that, you force the other team to make harder beats, more difficult beats that they might not make, less high percentage beats, which gives your seeker more time. Well done. Oh, I thought she stepped off there.
I did so too, but the ref was directly next to it, and he has better eyes than you and me do.
Fair play.
Okay, now we have a bubble.
There we are.
You can see Venus.
So what you need to do is, at the moment, the Honeybees are down a bludger. They've got
now down
3, I believe.
No, 2. I think that it was actually the 70.
No, there we
you're
are.
absolutely right. 80-50. I'm sorry.
So down 3, you've got to decide: do you want to go for overtime, or do you want to go for the win? But ultimately, you just got to go to stop them winning, the other team.
Yeah. And they want to go for overtime, and I think that's the right call.
So what Ajam's doing really nicely there is she hasn't got a bludger, but she's setting a screen. You can actually bubble without a bludger.
Yeah.
It's very weird and rare, but if you can catch very well, which Ajam can do beautifully, it forces them to make a decision. Because also, at the same time, is you can dive in front of a bludger. You can dive in front of a bludger and stop it from hitting your seeker.
And what we just missed is a great interception by Simai, number 22 of the Hippogriffs, ripping out the ball, giving it to number 99, who is like now open for the drive, and putting it 40 points apart.
That is a big strip then. At the moment, now the Honeybees need to adapt to that. They need to go defensively seeking and put the beaters in the quaffle game. Get that goal,
yeah.
Get that goal, and then go for it.
But they're going for it with drives all alone.
They don't seem to just be dynamic enough.
Yeah, they lack some offensive creativity, like some ideas. I think they need a game plan.
Well, the thing is they have a game plan, but the game plan is let's just drive it in.
Yeah. Let's say they need some more elaborate game plans.
I'm not sure the Honeybees know the score.
Are they going for the?
I don't think they know the score, or unless our score is wrong. But I don't think our score is wrong.
I don't
And
think our score is wrong.
The Hippogriffs aren't going for the catch. They were there completely. I'm not too sure what's going on. Is this a new Turkish rule tactic? I don't know this one.
Speaking for Continental Europe, I've never heard about that as well. I think.
There we are. Now it seems a bit more.
Maybe the snitch is helping her doing her job right now.
Now I think it seems more correct with the Honeybees defensively seeking and the Hippogriffs going for the catch.
Oh, nice beating.
No bludgers though. And that's the goal. That puts them 5. That's a. Unless it was called no good.
No ref call. So
no ref call.
Not good.
So now Honeybees without control and 4 down. They need to get control and they need this goal.
So Rocky with the ball in his hand, giving it to Ozan.
Nice aggression though from Sime though, of the Hippogriffs. Nice bit of passing there. Needs to be more secure with those hands. Use 2 hands when you're picking it up.
That pass was not really good, but on Kafa, getting the drive.
But that was a very good block, though. Thing is I think that was a 50-50 ball. Eamon calls it fair. No harm, no foul.
Yeah.
It's kind of running into each other going for the ball.
Let's keep this game going.
Yeah. Quidditch is enough stoppages, we were talking about yesterday.
Yeah, it is.
First handicap for the snitch there.
And I gotta say, that's what I love about some of these refs I've seen this weekend. There's less time spent talking about your decisions, as it kind of happens sometimes in our league games here in Germany or like in Austria or something. People tend to try to explain every call, and that's not what the game is for. That's what, like, after game you can go to the ref and ask questions.
And the majority of us know the rules enough.
Or pretend to, at least.
I mean, the confidence is there, and that's the important part.
Yeah.
If you confidently look like you know the rules, like, you'll get away with it. It's fine. But there we are. So it's nice to see. But the game is quite slowed down a little bit.
Yeah, it is.
Again, the Honeybees don't have an answer for this attacking into control. Oh, good beat just on the end of the broom. These brooms are a little bit longer than the ones we use in the UK, actually, which might be a factor.
And now the Hippogriffs can make it fast. Fly like an eagle, drink like a horse. That's their chant.
Is that their chant?
That's their chant.
That's an interesting chant.
Yeah, they're pretty open with their, let's say, hospitality and morale in their team.
The thing is, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. But here, they appear to be drinking all the points, and there's their 4 up.
So
It's just got really weird, these metaphors.
yeah, I think we can. But I want you to keep going, Gio, please.
Let's let this one lie.
Yeah, Lolita seeking here and being hindered by Irma of the Honeybees. Not really finding an opening, and therefore we can look at this quaffle game.
The thing is what's quite interesting is the Hippogriffs is still trying to score, which is the right call. But what's more important is to keep that quaffle away from the other team, unless you score like that.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
you're pushing at 5.
Now they're 50 points ahead. And it looks to me like the Seeker floor is all in favor of the Hippogriffs. They managed to extend their lead, and this is getting out of hand for the Honeybees. And I think they might call a timeout, and that would be like a good call, in my opinion.
I think is the right call. The problem is I think it's a little bit too late. They should have probably called it just during that snitch floor, or maybe just before, to kind of reevaluate their tactics.
Yeah.
When you're going into a game and it's overtime for snitch on pitch, you want to discuss, okay, are we going for the win? Are we going to try and get a point? Are we going to try and take the overtime game? What are we doing? And then once you decide, you need to work out the tactics to go inside of that. So are we going to bubble? Are we going to bubble on defense? Going to bubble on offense? How are we going to run it?
Yeah. So there's an injury sub, and entering is Chuchu, the hero, number 78, for his injured number 13, Yila, the leader of the Honeybees.
I do like that Chichu put his name as the hero.
I
Big
think-
fan.
Yeah, the Turkish crowd has some good names on them, don't they?
What if that's his birth name? Was that like a middle name? That'd be really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Imagine that. Gio,
Game
the
time
hero.
is 25 minutes, 44
sounds awesome.
seconds.
Gio, the
Timeout
hero?
called by
My name rhymes
Hippogriffs.
enough. I don't
1
think.
calling
minute
it this
starting
right now.
now.
If your girlfriend is watching right now, Gio, I'm paying her 12 pounds, or no, is it 20 pounds if she calls you Gio the hero for the rest of the year?
She will never call me that. She was giving me a lot of stick for commentating yesterday. She's saying she barely understands me sometimes because she's Canadian. But oh well. Anyway, so we've got a stoppage. I think this is a very good play from the Honeybees.
They need to change.
They're not working. They need to be a bit more aggressive with the beaters. The problem is Ajim looks knackered out there.
Yeah.
She can barely run, which is no fault for herself. She's put in a phenomenal shift.
I mean, look at the game time. I mean, she's been all for like, I think at least 4/5 of that.
Yeah, probably the majority. A good 20-minute stint in
Yeah.
2 sections. But the thing is so they're 5 down. They need to be opening up this offense and getting strong and getting more set on defense. Maybe change their defense, go man marking.
Yeah.
Because at the moment, every time Hippogriffs have the ball, they're scoring.
Yeah.
Every time Honeybees have the ball, they're handing it straight to the Hippogriffs on the halfway line, which is causing a quick counter,
Yeah.
or the Honeybees are being a bit slower because they've got control. The key is in the beating.
Yeah, and that's a big shout out to the beating lineup of the Hippogriffs. They're putting great effort on it. Number 33, and I think it's number 16 or 19 of the Hippogriffs. There's a lot of pressure on the Honeybees there.
There is. They are up against it. But the thing is they can come back in. They've got time. The snitch is still only on second handicap for another 2 minutes. Once it gets down to 1 handicap, that's when it becomes a lot easier to catch a snitch when you're one-on-one. But this snitch seems like quite a strong, agile player, which is nice.
Yeah. Lolita doing her best, but she's immediately hindered by Irma.
So realistically, you need to take out the point chase with a little tap beat if you're the beaters, and then just go and smack one of the beaters.
Right now. Don't cover.
Nice dodge,
Go
nice
for it.
dodge. No, don't beat him, don't beat him. You never want to beat an unarmed beater. That was lucky, because if you beat an unarmed beater, they can catch. Or they can deflect. That's how he beats.
So now you need to run. Now you need to run. Don Kaffa getting the ball. Nice pass. Intercepted. That was a great play.
That was a beautiful interception. But as we said a lot at D2, if anyone was listening then, hand through hoop. When there's no bludger situations, you get that guaranteed goal.
You take your hand, get the hoop, and you mush one into the other.
At worst case is they knock all 3 hoops down, and then you're standing by a hoop with the ball as all 3 come back up. But yeah, we've seen that the Hippogriffs are phenomenal at intercepting these balls. Realistically, you can't be passing like that around the hoops. But here we have the Doctor with the ball in white this time.
Oh yeah, he's changed to being the chaser.
Smart play there from number 44 of the Honeybees to take out the Doctor so he can't just be passed back to.
Oh! The hero tried to block that one with his bludger. Didn't get the timing right.
Tried to be the hero,
yeah,
but didn't quite come off. The thing is it's a flashy play when it comes off, but then you might look not so great when it doesn't come off. Realistically, maybe you want to force the play earlier by going and aggressing. Yeah. If you just put pressure, even if you fake the beat at them, it makes them think that you're going to beat them. Great there, great control back there from Venus. I believe that was Venus?
Yeah, number 33 is Venus.
Yep.
Now she can push.
She's played really well.
Yeah.
Another beautiful interception, though.
Yeah, but I could see that pass coming like 2 days ago, I think.
Yeah. The thing is, they are telegraphing these passes. The Doctor driving straight through, but the pass is there.
Bam!
See what that is? That's really nice support play from your chasers. What you want when you're driving through, even if you're the biggest, strongest, fastest player, there could be a bludger, there could be 3 people to tackle. There, we had 2 people tackling, but that pass is always there.
Yeah, and Simai was there. For the second time, I think Sima is playing an underrated game. I need to look at her game. Maybe afterwards, if this whole thing goes on YouTube, when this whole thing goes on YouTube, she deserves some more attention, I think.
I think what she did really nice as well is there was a point a couple minutes ago, she was aggressing and being that aggressive point chaser, which you rarely see.
She's good at defense.
Just hustling, like just hassling the person, grabbing the arms, swatting, just causing some sort of nuisance.
Being as annoying as you can be.
Because the thing is a lot of these players of the Honeybees, they're quite a big physically team. They want to be driving, but if you're on top of them, slowing them down just by hustling them, they can't build the momentum, and that's important. The press is coming on.
Yeah,
the press is on now.
They need to reset it.
The other way, one more.
Rocky, do your show.
Good take though, but they're both on top of each other.
Yeah.
And that was poor play there.
And that defense was all beating lineup, and they know it. That was. Honeybees don't seem to find the loophole in the defense of the Hippogriffs.
So the thing is when you press on defense like that, you are susceptible to a skull being conceded against you, because what you are doing is you're taking your beaters away from your hoops and aggressing onto the quaffle. What you want to do is, oh, that was unlucky there, nice attempted catch. But what you want to do, if you're the Honeybees, you want to fan out, create a big open square and pass around the bludgers, and that allows your beaters time to get back in, or it allows that open gap in the middle for that cut. Yeah. And that's when you look. You'll look for the first pass, the second pass, and then the return on that cut for the 4th chaser. And to stop that happening in terms of from the first person, if you're the Hippogriffs, you want to beat out that first chaser who threw it. Yeah. It's a nice clean-up play.
Oh, great dodge.
Actually, I'm thinking about the 2-handed one there, but being against it, which I liked.
And now it's 130 to 15. This game is getting out of hands for the Honeybees.
So a different seeker on now for the Hippogriffs. Gungo, I believe. Gungo, number 58.
Number 58, that's Gungo, yeah.
Gungo. I'm getting so much better at these names. Yeah. I feel like I'm a bit more confident to attempt.
I think one weakness is like Norwegian teams, but
yeah, Norwegian teams are my kryptonite. I know OSI Vikings. That's one name.
Yeah, awesome. No.
I did practice Chontai about 40 times last night as well, but
Look at you, Gio. You're experiencing. Oh, there needs to be
injury sub there, double injury. Both Seekers look hurt. I think I need to get him his attention. I think he's going to sub off there.
Yeah.
Beat before, therefore it's a quaffle turnover, unfortunately. But the idea is right, but I say the idea is right, but I keep saying but a lot. But the problem is, I said it again,
Yeah.
what they need to do is these passes over the top of the hoops are not working.
Yeah.
The solid defensive chasers on the hoops are plucking everything out the air. Like giraffes taking an apple off the top tree.
Yeah, and I think what the Honeybees might be needing is like getting that budge control and getting in some pick and rolls. You have the drivers maybe have some open lanes, but it's easier said than done from me.
Yeah, I think the other thing you can do as well, which is underutilized in Quidditch, is actually setting picks at the hoops. So if you want to set that drive, all you need is 2 picks. You set the pick on the point chaser, it allows your player to get momentum, and you set a pick on the hoop if the chaser's there. So you set one on the keeper, pushes them off a hoop, creates a nice driving lane or a shooting lane or passing lane.
Yeah, so either pick and pop or like the pick and run. But a double pick option, I like that.
It's something that a lot of teams in the UK have started doing this year, because obviously the new changes to the rules. But I believe I've not really seen much of it this year in Europe.
Yeah, now the drive by the Doctor, this time they anticipated his pass.
But you know what? That was a good interception. And there is 1 bludger, 2 bludgers.
Pass to Rocky. Da, da, da.
What Rocky did there quite nicely was he rode the tackle. He knew it was coming in. He made sure he had the ball, he had his hand on that quaffle in a solid grip, took the tackle, and as he was going to ground, swung it round.
Yeah.
Good tackle from the keeper. Right thing to do.
Yeah.
But phenomenal play from Rocky. Thing is, though, that's still 7 down.
Yeah. And the lead basically keeps on growing. They were in this, like, when Seeker follows leads at 20 points. Now it's... that's 70 points already.
Oh, close. Thing is, the snitch is on 1 handicap, second handicap, which is 1 arm, which means it's a lot easier to catch.
Oh, look at that defense by number 22.
Sime there. Reset though.
Yeah. Oh, and there's a catch. We might have this one on replay. If we do, I'll tell you shortly, but for now, let's see. This would be like the 160 start to 60, and I think that would like actually do the game justice.
I think that's true. I think it was close. The Honeybees were in it for a bit, but they always just seemed the slightly weaker side. The problem was they didn't quite adapt to attacking into control, and they weren't strong enough to get control back a lot of the times. What do you think they could have done differently?
The Honeybees, I think they were basically outsmarted in the beating lineup, and yeah, I have to stop it at some moment because we're getting the replay. Look at this screen. Okay, a bit going back and forth. Catch is good.
I think it's all over.
Yeah, the game is over,
is now.
and we'll get the replay shortly. Our tech guys tell me.
You missed that one. They think it's all over. It is now.
It is over. 160 start to 60. ODTÜ Hippogriffs get it with that catch right here. Yeah.
Nice athletic catch. Really nice catch though. Going with the right hand, distracting the 1-arm Seeker, and then sweeping over with the left.
Yeah. And that's just the better body control of that player, doing an awesome job. Looks really great. Yeah.
Nice athletic
Clean
play.
as a whistle. And that's it from me and Gio. Oh wait, Gio, you're going to join the analyst desk, aren't
I
you?
know, yes I am.
So get your bum over there and take care. See you guys. See you later.
So I volunteered to run the sugar house. I was like, he'll do it. Tell Chula, just be like, yeah, I think Fabian will do it. Genuinely, if she hears it from somebody else, especially the speakers player, then she'll do it. But you know Fabian, he won the title of I snitched at EQC. Yeah, exactly, he'll do it.
Scuba to the P1 party behind the scenes. We also have merch on sale now, so make sure to head down. A lot of it's selling up fast. If you need some headbands, referee shirts, they're all there. And coming up now at 10 a.m. Pitch 1 is Wilbur Futures versus Olympians. Pitch 2 is OSA Vikings versus Darmstadt Athenas. Pitch 3 is Rhinus Bond versus Unspeakables. Pitch 4 is Glasgow versus Antwerp Finn. Pitch 5 is Oxford Mouth versus Madrid Lynx. And pitch 6 is Toulouse versus Utrecht Lyon.
Hello, thank you for joining us again. I am Bex McLaughlin here with Jandals and Philip to discuss the very exciting game we've just seen, the ITU Honeybees versus the ODTÜ Hippogriffs. What do we think?
Well, where to start? I think that overall, I think that it is very clear that both teams knew each other extremely well in this game. did seem a little bit choppy in places, especially a lot of the passing. There was not a lot of passing goals. They were mainly scored by drivers, mostly scored just by, not by small mistakes from the other team, more just trying to, by sheer brute force. I found that a little bit strange because I thought they would be bringing out a few more tactics on each other. But then in hindsight, I think they just understood each other so well. The only real way to get through them was by brute force. They both know how to adapt to each other extremely well. But yeah, still on that, I do think that the beater game was stronger than the chaser game. And you could see that picking up in the Slack. Whenever the chasers were failing, the beaters were always there. So it was a bit of an imbalance, I think, on both teams.
Philip, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I would actually add to the beating game being more important. And I think, Emma, you're absolutely onto something right there. Edgem and Hanluk Jr. of the Honeybees, they did a good job. But on the other side, I think we're outbeaten by the beating lineup of the Hippogriffs. And I'm actually really glad of that because, in a way, I was mentioning in an earlier game on the analysis part that the Hippogriffs need to involve number 33, Venus, a bit more because she played an impeccable big game back then and she's played an impeccable game today. I think she outplayed any other beater on the pitch. Smart choices, clever choices, caught a few, dodged a few. Great play by her, and really people should look out for her on Team Turkey probably.
Yeah, but so we're saying, yeah, they had a very familiar playing style. Obviously, Istanbul team, Ankara team, you know, they play each other at Turkish Cup. There's a Turkish league. Intergalactic Cup. And then obviously Team Turkey trainings, they beat each other and stuff. Boring? Exciting? Why did we bother? What do you think?
Not as exciting as the first game, I would say. There was definitely, I think they were both, I think they were saving themselves. They were saving themselves for future games. But by the same token, I think they both equally felt they were both confident they could win the game. That was clearly not the case as the game progressed. We actually saw that there were more goals scored once Snitch went on pitch than before. So that's, I think that they were both very much close in Snitch range. They're like, yeah, we're going to do this. The second the Snitches came on pitch, it all kind of fell apart.
Yeah, and that's because the blood control was almost always on the side of the Hippogriffs. I think the Honeybees need to train a little bit more of getting that blood control back. And Gio actually talked about this on the live stream. Maybe going like with the surrounding by the bloodless beater, going from behind, getting this missed speed, or maybe pushing some a bit to the confusing leader, but you need to figure out how to get blood control back in these situations because it really killed them. Hippogriffs could advance the quaffle as much as they wanted. They could get out of swims in like 2 or 3 minutes and the game was over.
Because obviously Ecem on Honeybees, one of the best players in Turkey, if not Europe, with her beta game. But of course, you're only as good as your beta partner when you're getting back control.
I don't want to shade. I think Hanluk Jr. actually played pretty decent as well. A lot of dodges. I think this guy is almost always dodging, not catching. And there were a few beats missed. But yeah, I think they just were outsmarted and outplayed by the beating game of the Hippogriffs.
I also think that as well, there was certainly on the Hippogriff side slightly more utilization of their female players. They did, one or the two of their players, female players did actually score a goal, whereas I don't think there was anything on the Honeybees side as well. Not that that's anything to go by, but you can have a more stronger sort of trust in your female players when they're scoring goals, and you can see where that trust is. Can I put on my little bit of my pessimistic hat and have a bit of a... Thank you.
There you go.
I want to have a bit of a.
Okay.
I want to have a bit of a rant about the seeking. Right. So I found that most of the seeking was pretty good, but then about halfway through the game, I think the Honeybees were down by about 5-6 goals, so they put 2 female seekers on, and I do not like that at all. For a couple of reasons, I just felt that. You could clearly see that the 2 female seekers this was not their choice. They weren't being put there because they were good defensive seekers or one was a good offensive seeker. They were you could see that there was an inexperience there. And the main indicator, for me at least, is that they were trying to play like male seekers. Quite often you'll see male seekers really throwing their body weight towards a snitch, really trying to get around them in that way. As a female seeker myself, I can tell that will never work, especially if you're playing that defensive game. You need to work more with your beaters. You need to be diverting around it. You need to be looking for alternative strategies. Most of the time, they were just throwing themselves over and over and over again, which is a valid tactic, but they weren't putting themselves 100% into that. And I think that's because they didn't have a sub either. So I was a little bit disappointed in the female seeker game. There could have been a lot more development there, at least more training of their female seekers. If you wanted to play that, you shouldn't just put them on there because you need to get goals on the board.
As a last resort, throw them on.
But I need to give Irma some credit. I think she did a good job defensive seeking. I think that's something she trains because she did look very comfortable. With Lolita of the Hippogriff side, I think you're onto something right there, but I think Irma did a good job at defensive seeking, even if there was a male seeker against her.
And it's like Turkey as an NGB generally has very strong women. Yeah, like they are known for training up their women. So maybe this was a bit of an anomaly because you can look to Turkey and you can see like even their weaker teams have got really strong women.
Fantastic. Also, thumbs up to Snitch Steve from France. I think that was his second. He managed to get to second handicap twice.
Yeah, why
today.
does this guy even have 2 arms? He doesn't need them.
Like, he doesn't need them. He really doesn't. We're probably going to be running overtime because of Snitch Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
You know, and some people are just too good. It's inconvenient for the rest of us. I think thus concludes our analysis of this game. But just to say, yeah, some of the matchups this morning, we've had London versus London. We've had 2 German teams play each other. We've had 2 Turkey teams play each other. Sometimes that happens, but, you know, you come all the way from Ankara and Istanbul to play each other in Belgium. It's a bit, what are you going to do? So, thank you very much for joining me, Jandals. Thank you for joining me, Philip. We will be back in just a little bit for a talk about Team Scotland.
Thank you, Bex.
Thank you, Bex.